This report deals with the problem of the lack of freedom of speech in Bulgarian media. Right now, if you turn on any major news channel in Bulgaria, you're going to hear about three things. First of all, how some grandma got hit by a car and fell over on a sidewalk in some small rural village, which, while sad, is not particularly relevant. Then you're going to hear about the heating prices every single day, no matter if it's summer or winter. Have they gone down a penny? Have they gone up a penny? If you watch the news, you'd think that heating is Bulgaria's biggest issue. And finally, you're going to hear about whether TSK or Levski, which are the two biggest soccer teams, won the last game. This has been an issue I've seen with my own two eyes for a number of years, since I am Bulgarian, and this is one of the reasons I left, and I'm not planning to go back. I, like many others, could not imagine living in an environment where there's close to no access to free-flowing, honest, unbiased information. The report further breaks down the problem into its main components. It then looks at who is generally affected by it and goes deeper by creating a customer persona of a potential person who would benefit from the future solution. Finally, it proposes a relatively viable solution that is suitable for inexpensive, short-term, easy intervention. So, there are two main reasons which cause the staggering lack of freedom of speech in Bulgarian media. First of all, the high concentration of media ownership and its sources of funding. The high concentration levels are further broken down into a lack of adequate legislation, as well as a general collusion between the political and the corporate elite. In terms of sources of funding, the report discusses the reliance of media businesses on advertising provided by that same elite, as well as the unfair distribution of EU funding to government-friendly media. The people most concerned with the issue, broadly speaking, of course, are the young. Those who come from middle-class backgrounds, have a relatively good educational background, and largely have some sort of international ties. For the customer persona, the report put forward Maria Mihailova, a 23-year-old English-Bulgarian bilingual who graduated university in Milan but has since come back to work in her hometown in Bulgaria. It takes a critically close look at her life in terms of who she is, where she comes from, what she does, what she fears, and what she desires. It does that in order to employ a human-centered design approach in finding the solution and use Maria as a representative of the market as a whole. Finally, it proposes the creation of an NGO podcast that does not have to use Bulgarian state as well as corporate advertising and general funding as a revenue channel. It aims to shape the podcast around the needs and wants of Maria and hence the people, thus staying true to its mission. To be a media product created by the people and for the people, which allows for free speech.